Hey, so this is a really short video on what is going on with our AP Lang website. So one of the reasons I created this website is because obviously we don't have this classroom space where we can keep all of our stuff, and you don't necessarily go to school with a backpack. You're doing school in other ways and other places. So our classroom space, because it's digital, I wanted a digital space where we could go that would be like our home base or our classroom away from classroom. And that's what our website is intended for. We obviously still use Google Classroom. That is where you're submitting your work. That is where you will receive your work. That is where work is assigned. But for all of the other stuff, like the resources, handouts, emails, information from me, is all going to be through our AP Lang website. So let's go over a little bit what it looks like. This is our home page, and you can see the most important pieces of information would be our Zoom link. This is the same link for all of my classes as well as all of my meetings. So if you go to schedule a meeting with me, you're using the same exact Zoom link. Our Google Classroom, some info for families, and at the very bottom we have all of these sources, mostly news outlets. And this becomes very important when we get into the work of AP Lang. At the end of next week, you'll be doing your first, or beginning of next week, you'll be doing your first assignment using one of these links and finding an article that you can write about. Up here is our navigation bar, and the digital notebooks is another important tab to hang out in. This is where we have a running record of all the digital notebooks that you'll be working with this year. So essentially, a digital notebook is where your work lives, and every assignment that we do, all of your work or links to your work will be in this digital notebook. You'll get a new one each week on Sunday evening by 8 p.m., and then you'll submit it in one big assignment bundle by Saturday evening. So this is a great place to go if you forgot, you're absent, you needed to find a notebook. You could also go to Google Classroom, but anybody has access to these notebooks. Maybe a parent wants to see what it looks like. They can go here through this tab in our website. This is a little bit more information about the digital notebook that I encourage you to go back to read. You see these buttons on the bottom left of most of the pages, and if you click on it, it's going to bring you to a meeting website where you can schedule a time with me. So obviously today is Sunday, I don't have time, but if you scroll down, mostly after 3 p.m., except for Wednesdays, and that is our no class, but it's a meeting day, and you schedule, you just click on it and write your first and last name, and then confirm the booking, and you'll get an email confirmation back. That's a great resource, and we'll see how it works this year. It looks good. Let's put it to good use. Slideshows. I do a Google Slide presentation with almost every single class as a way to keep me focused on what I'm teaching, and it also helps you if you're absent. You can go back and you can look, or if you need clarity on something that you learned that day, you'll have access to those Google Slides. So I will be posting them by unit, and you can look into them as I post them. This is really important, hence why I put it under the tab Important Stuff. But videos are going to be a huge resource for you this year. I'm using what is called a flipped learning model. So if you consider that the regular learning model is do your homework at home after class, right? And then the next day you come into class and your teacher will tell you something new and teach a lesson. And then you go home that night and you do homework. So to flip it, which is what I'm doing, I would give you a video mini lesson to watch before class. So you're watching it the night before class, you're taking it in, you're answering some questions about it. Then when you come into class, we put it to practice. We work with it, and talk about it and I can meet with you about it so that the information is more efficient and effective, and you get to actually work with the new skills and content right away, which is important in an online learning environment. So we'll see how that goes. These are all great videos. Once I have recorded them, they will be great. And I will be getting to that the first week of school, some big picture stuff. Here is where you want to go every Sunday night when I assign a new digital notebook with all of your assignments. I will also assign it with a video overview of what you can expect that week in terms of assignments. And this will be posted right here. And then here are the mini lessons, and they live on this running record. So you can see by week what we have for mini lessons, when it is assigned, when it is due, and then there's also a link to the Check for Understanding questions, which is a Google form, and you would submit that for full credit. And this brings you right to the video, and this brings you right to the Google form. And it looks like that's, oh, and then I will also be posting some extra help videos as well. There's a contact me site, which is important. This is my information. This links up to my meeting calendar. I do text messaging, but be mindful of time, and an email. But if you feel like it's really urgent, texting is the way to go. So we know, like I said, we don't have our binder, we don't have our notebook. So I thought, okay, where could we put all of our handouts that you would normally hold and keep? And so we are doing that here in what is called the survival guide. So already I've linked one handout, and this is where you'll go unit by unit, where you can find all of your resources, and then they live there forever, and you have them, and you won't lose them, and you can always go back to them. This is an important questions site, which is where there is a Google Sheet in here. So if I have a question, I'm going to click on this and I'm going to type my question. This is actually the wrong answer. Should know better, but it is 53 minutes, I think, or 54. The regular class time is the time of our classes. So if you have a question, you would put here, my question is, why am I taking AP? And then I would put an answer in. There are many reasons why, too many to list. So let's change this answer. So you will be able to go back and see now in our, once I refresh it, on our questions page, the questions will be here. So if you have a question, go ahead and click on that sheet and put your questions in, and then we can, I can answer them for you, and I will try to do that on a daily basis. So here's our questions that we just posted. My goal is that, even though we're not in school, I want you to feel like you can contact me and get support and get the answers that you need, or get that feedback that you need, and that's my job. And so I want you to feel like that's accessible to you, and that's really what this website is about. It's just one tool for us to really hold that space together and make sure that we're both in it, right? So I am available, I am here for you, and this is just one way that will happen. Another reason that I wanted to do the website is that, having been a student myself this summer in a couple different classes, I got really overwhelmed being on Google Classroom, and I feel what some of you have said, which is like, I'm overwhelmed by the stream, and Google Classroom feels like it's really bogging me down, and I definitely felt that. So I wanted to create a space that was more visually interesting, and perhaps I feel better organized than Google Classroom. And so all the extra stuff beyond assignments is this, right? So again, I'm not saying don't use Google Classroom, that's only for our work, but I wanted a place that could be our classroom. So I hope that it works out, and just give me your feedback and we can make it better. So shout outs is just a fun way to call attention to people who are doing amazing things or who are amazing people, which are all of you. So you can feel free to shout out someone in our class, and you don't have to put your name if you don't want to, but it is nice to bring recognition. Any positive vibes that we can bring our way is important. Class challenges, very similar. So to build community and to give, bring some motivational incentives. And writing spotlight, I really want to showcase our student writing, and this is a language and composition course. You'll be doing a lot of writing, and I feel that it's important to showcase your work. So this is our Google site, our website. I hope that you enjoy it as much as I had fun making it, and welcome to AP Lang.